Welcome to the topology portion of this series, and I'd like to dub this cognitive topology. So you're not just redoing something, you're taking something high detail and you're making it more efficient. You're re-engineering it in a sense. So you're following one important rule is less is more. You want the least amount of faces possible in your model to make your UV wrapping life easier, make it faster to render, because maybe you want more than one of these dinosaurs in your scene, and at the current face count of 280, pretty much 281,000 faces, this is not cool. You have more than one of these, unless you have a really fast computer, which a lot of us don't, you're screwed. So that's why we re-topologize something, and when you re-topologize something, I want you to look at something, without the knowledge that we've made this before. Just look at it and kind of think, how do you think this would be made? And you should think about this with everything, the cup, the sunglasses in front of me, my delicious bottle of Frank's Red Hot original cayenne pepper sauce, which I keep close to me at all times because I put that shit on everything. Think about, how is it made? How does the shading hit this, and why does it hit it like that? What gives it this depth? And shading gives depth, and depth is both physical and a visual thing. So that's why this is a redesign process, not just a redo process, and it's something that is necessary. Everybody does it, that wants to do any kind of good animation. It's the same thing. I mean, you can also take your sculpted look, and you can remap that back onto this model right here. So just a little bit about that real quick. So before we get started, I want to go through some of the key stuff tools we'll be using and shortcut keys just real quick. So we'll start out by tabbing into edit mode on this dinosaur. We want to start somewhere late. It doesn't matter which one of these you select. Don't get crazy. Shift S, cursor to selected. I'm going to tab out of edit mode, and I'm just going to turn on screencast for you guys. Alright, I'm going to save it. Alright, so just go ahead and add in a plane. And let me just go layer 2 real quick. Let me just delete this. Alright, sorry. Add in a plane, rotate it on the X, like so, about like that, and then just scale it in about that big. And then don't worry about that so much right now. And then we'll go through the stuff we're going to do right here. Alright, so first things first, you have this little magnet down here, and if it'll look like this, and this is kind of the setup that it looks like in object mode, but we don't care too much about that. Make sure that this thing is checked in right there, and then if you bring a little thing up right there, it says project individual elements, blah blah blah. Basically project the vertexes onto this, if that's checked. So we're going to tab into edit mode, and we're going to control tab to go and hit vertex select right there. Let me get a sip of coffee, excuse me. Alright, so first things first, you want to have this little magnet box right here checked. Click on that magnet box, and that's your snap control right there. Secondly, make sure this is on face. See, we obviously want to snap to the faces of this of this model, and that's really useful because we have a shitload of them. So we'll be okay. And then you want it on closest. These kind of, I don't know if you know much about this, active snaps to the whatever the active object is, median snaps to the median point of the object, and this goes to the center. We want it on closest. If you look at the Blender wiki, and there's a pretty good explanation on that. We don't want snap onto itself. We don't want it to snap onto itself, but we do want, like I said, it to project onto the element. And this last one over here will let you see through the model. So I don't want that right now. So these have to be activated by pressing G, grab. So once you press grab, it sticks to the model like that. and that's pretty neat. So you can see what this does right here. Click down, you can't see what it doesn't have the geometry to show you, and then you can see through it. Both have their uses, but I prefer, I don't know, I toggle it on and off all the time. So that's that covers the whole sticky thing, and that's half of the tricks to topology right there. And so we'll go through some of the functional stuff. So if you hold down Control and you click anywhere, it'll just add, if you have a vertex selected, another one. And you can do the same thing with a whole face. Just click. There you go. Also, you need at least 3 points to make up a face. So I'll give you an example. And you have to have all these selected, and you press F, and that makes a face. And that's the same thing with, you know, 4. The F key makes a face. Pretty grammatical, kind of works for the memory. Alright, so the rule of thumb in everything is evenness. You go down to the processing I's and O's of your little memory cards on your motherboard. It all breaks down into powers of 2 and even. And, you know, it's the computer's ability to break things down even. So naturally, having even faces will make for faster computing, and it's just a rule of thumb. So you want to make everything in groups of 4. You have this crazy groups of 4 puzzle that you're making. So always everything in 4. Control click right here just to go over it. Shift and select these 4 and press F, and you make a face like that. And that is the basics of making geometry right there. Some things to know and just kind of keep in mind, if ever you're making geometry, you know, you're making stuff over here, and sometimes you'll make a face, and it will basically the normals will be flipped. So it'll shade strange. It'll kind of have black spots, and this might answer a lot of questions you guys did for me when I first learned about it. Is you can either hit Control N, or you can go over and do recalculate. Also, every once in a while, you should select everything and hit remove doubles, and that'll remove any kind of double vertices or faces that you have. One moment. So we're gonna want to go with the flow of the muscles. So let me just go and get a grease pencil layer here, and I'll show you guys. I like to go surface because it draws on the surface, and I'll go over the B-surface add-on, which we could use, but we're not going to, so you got to learn the fundamentals first of topology. So you want to follow the way that the muscle goes, kind of, you know. Think about the way it's going to flow on both sides of it. So you don't want to go with a singular way across. You want to go that, because when you rig it, you want it to move humanly, and you want it to stretch, not humanly, but to its muscle structure. You want it to stretch and move like its muscles look like it will, you know. So like if this guy bends his leg, you know, we can add muscle stretch right there and right there. It's not going to pull from strange places because we have a strange mesh. And so, you know, you can use the B-surface add-on, which is awesome, and it works pretty fast. Basically, you have your rows right there. I'd work on something, you know, something like that, 5 and 1, as I went through for a quick base mesh. But this will run you into problems. You'll spend more time joining sections together than you will actually making topology. So we're gonna and this is kind of cool. With anything selected, any face, vertex, or edge, you press L or Control L. Sometimes L doesn't work for some reason, and then Control L will always work. So I'm just going to delete these guys. So that pretty much covers it. Go with the flow, and you'll be okay. So you always start with the one face like we did, and whoops, sorry about that. So we're going to start coming down this large section, around a little bit of the leg right there, and then we'll work on this, and then we'll work our way down into this tricky area where we have this little triangle right there, and work this whole section right there in. So let's see, I don't think I need this toolbar up. I don't. I like working in a wide open space. Okay, so this is kind of a broad section. We'll just start something like that. So I'm just going to take this, select this vertex right here, and just kind of move it down. And keep in mind how many of these little spaces you're making. So you got to match that all the way down. So I'm gonna space these out a little bit, since this is a broad section. Alright, yeah, that's looking good. So I like to do it in like sections of 3. That keeps it under control. So like that, and then we'll come out over here, and you can do of course you can do like bridge loops if you want, but that messes up the normals every single time. It is fast in some instances, and it's not in a lot of others. Whoops, that's something you'll probably run into, is Control F or Shift F will bring in this pan mode. Just press Escape to get out of it, and it'll also put you into user perspective. We don't want that. Hit 5. We want to do this in orthographic for sure. So some people do this different. I like to do it like this because it's the most basic way, but it also works every single time. So I just kind of hover with my hand on the left side of the board, and I just use Shift and A and F to make all these faces right here. And for me, that's just it's just faster that way. And I kind of like to do that as I go. So you see we have our little center line following that, and you'll find yourself kind of messing with this and moving it, massaging it around as you go. But let's just so right here we can most definitely just extrude this whole edge right there, right to above where that crevice is. You don't want to go into it just yet, and we'll try to keep this even as we go. So, alright, and then this section right here, you create valleys and low sections by just adding tight geometry in there. So little, these will be how you'll make, oh, see what happened right there? Badness. We looked through something and it hit the other side. Let's just go, it must be seen through it somehow. Like that. Alright, so that's going to define our geometry right there for that little low section. And you'll never use really more than I'm giving it 3, so 3 sets like that for like a whole bunch, and you usually use one row of faces. This is what I mean. Usually you just use like hey, do what I want. Usually use one section for the low section. I'm kind of going up 2. I think it'll look better right there. Let's see. Alright, so then I'm going to continue over up this. So this is kind of a broad piece right there, and it kind of automatically made that kind of muscle flowed for us, muscle shaped, and we're going to try to continue, keep this kind of a little bit flat as you go through. So we got that, and then we can go all the way to that top section on most of it. Once again, try to continue the flow as you go. Alright, and I'm just going to save real quick. Now I'm just going to extrude this out. And now we're going to be starting to, this is kind of our middle one. Right there when we had drawn it out earlier, remember? And, alright, real fast, go up here. And this is edge slide. Where are you? I know he's here somewhere. Where are you? Edge slide. Okay, so I want you to right click on this and add a shortcut and hit the Q key. Alright, so the edge slide's gonna, like it sounds, select an edge, I'm gonna hit Q to activate my edge slide. It's gonna go like right there. Let's see, and you hit G again, it'll snap back into position. I just kinda wanna even out these squares as best I can. Alright, so you can see that this thing comes down a whole bunch right there, and it's kind of messed up our proportions all the way around. So let's just grab this hole right there and hit Q for edge slide, and that's a spicy meatball. And now we can select the whole thing and hit Q and edge slide, and that's how you kind of partition. It'll make your life easier right there. And once you slide it, you do have to hit G and move it around, because the snap to constraint doesn't recognize the edge slide is a actual geographical movement. Sometimes I just take the whole thing and just move it a little bit. Alright, so also let's with this selected, hit M and move it to your second layer and 2. Oh, this is good. This is a new little problem I've noticed with this build of Blender, so I'll just let you know. So I'm hitting M and I'm doing 2, nothing happens. If you hit OK, it actually works. So now go to your second layer and hit Shift and hit select 1, and now our Retopology mesh is on the second layer, which is what we want. So we want to check it out every once in a while. Alrighty. Okay, so now we're going to be coming down the other side of this muscle, so we're going to be kind of eclipsing, or making like a kind of a circled shape, a rounded corner there. Cool. And I'm holding an Alt and just selecting that. It selects the whole edge there, and now I'm coming down to this crevice back here. Alright, and maybe it doesn't need to be lower. I just want to celebrate. Okay, so I'm really happy with that right now. Let's check this little guy right here. You can see what we can't see. So we're losing geometry on that and on that right there, but when we subsurf it, it'll make this whole thing smooth, so that's okay. I don't care that much. We can always pull and mess around with stuff. It just needs more. It needs another edge loop right there, and it needs it to kind of come along this this bend, which there should be much more. No. Sorry, I'm futzing things up here. Alright, so we got that down here. Now we're going to go to this guy right here and create in our little valley. So we're just going to use a single one right here. And I want the taper off over here, so I'll make it wider. And then all of a sudden it will start holding our geometry. But we want it to continue down this path right here. The path of enlightenment. That was a horribly imitated Yoda voice, if you were wondering. Alright. So I sense an extra edge loop coming in there at some point, but not now. Alright. So I'm hitting E for extrude. Just kind of giving it a look. Keep in mind how many of these across you're adding as you go. So we already have tight sections, but I'll show you how to join those into the other stuff in a second. Use a diamond formation. Alright, and like so, and then let's also continue with our I think it looks like it flows up this way. To me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go with that for now. I don't know about that though. So I'm gonna tighten up this formation a little bit. And pretty flat right there. Alright, I'm gonna save it and I'm just gonna append this. So what I did is I went into my my folder that I have for my Lost Raptor series, and I went and I created a new folder by hitting that, and I named it Re-Topology, and I'm doing all these retopologies in there, and I'm using 1.1, so when I have 1.2 I'll know. That's when I've done 100 saves, and I really hope it doesn't take that, but sometimes it does. Alrighty. Excuse me while I get some warm coffee here. So next we'll be continuing down the bottom of the thigh. I just pointed at the screen like you guys can see it. Going down kind of near the knee, bottom of the thigh. And I'm just rambling to cover the fact that I'm pouring coffee. Alright. Cool. So we got this guy over here, and he's become strange on that right there. So let's just take this, and I think that happened when we grabbed everything. Just kind of take this and start moving this more in a muscled fashion. So I'm seeing right away that it could just be smoothed out everywhere. Most definitely. Alright. And I'm just using G for grab. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and select this vertex right here. And one, so I'm just planning this out. I'm thinking that. So this is important. This is this is not what necessarily I want to do, but how many of these sections I'm going to make. So I'm just 1, 2, and then we're going to need like some valley action. Right? No. Yeah, I guess. Damn. All right, and then definitely right here we'll be coming down off that. And this will just kind of taper off into nothing with a diamond right there. And then we have this whole high detail section right here that's going to require these little valleys right here. We're just sculpting, and we're going to need high detail, where we're going to go into like triple, you know, and whatnot. The knee is definitely gonna get it's kind of the grease pencil follows the same principles as our whole snap setup right here when you have it on surface mode. See, that's you know, that's basically where we're heading into. We're heading into Detailville on this knee. I might, for the time being, make a really simple kneecap, and we'll continue down and then address that later. The wrinkle section. So that's, so we're looking at 1, 2, 3, and then we have some high detail sections. But this detail kind of runs out. It still has a valley. Whatever. We'll roll with it. So I'm gonna hit N, and I'm gonna get rid of it. All right. You can leave it up if you want. It's all good. I'm gonna start 2, so that's 1, 2, and then 3, right there. And same thing. I think I just created 2 of them. I did. That's where remove doubles will come in handy. All right. So I'm feeling like this. Oh, my stomach is growling at me. All right. Nope, see? Getting ahead of ourselves here. So let's take this and extrude this guy down in that section order right there. So 1, 2, 3. And it's detailed right here, and then it gets less detailed over here. I'm just selecting these 2 outer ones and just hitting S for scale, because it has nowhere else to scale but away from each other, and because it's going to snap to the model anyways. Let's see here. You know what? Scratch what happened right there. We're going to end up continuing this down along this cap right here. This will be our kind of side detail. So for the meantime, just that's a control click right there. and we'll start rotating these early. And I'm gonna hit Q and edge slide that up. Greatest thing ever. Yeah, so we'll end up kind of coming through here and going down this this crease right here, and I might delete this in a second, but something like that into there with this loop right here, and we'll do the same thing on the other side of this muscle right here, and that'll actually solve some problems. So we have this one more section to make up, so this is actually a little bit too thick, and we'll go over to here. Alright, so let's start selecting these and hitting F and creating your faces. I don't know, for me this is just faster. I'm also using a tablet because that's, I'm not, different strokes, different folks, but I don't know how you people work with mouse wheels. A tablet is by far faster and more efficient, and it doesn't hurt your hand as much. It's more natural. It's cooler. It makes you look cooler. And this thing is $40. Bamboo Wacom. I've had it for 3, maybe 4 years. I've dropped it about 1,000 times. Never bought the little new pencil thingies on it, the LEDs that come out. I highly recommend the Wacom tablet. They make one that's touchscreen. It's also your computer screen, and everything is Wi-Fi, of course. It's probably the coolest thing ever. It's only like $2,800, but if I had all my servers and all the stuff that I wanted, I think that would definitely be my next buy. It's got things like little buttons on the side that you can map to different functions. So imagine all the quick keys and shortcuts you can map from Blender into that. You might be like the most efficient designer in the world with one of those, but this is my theory. Alright, so we're going to continue down and just kind of try to make it take a step back and really look at it, and I can see that this really needs to come over like that and be more even. You just take a step back and you can kind of see how it needs to be, and then you can adjust it from back here as well if that helps you. Whenever I select stuff, I'm pretty much generally holding down Shift to make it a smooth, easier selection. Alright, so this one, because it's coming from the center, I'm gonna make it, and let's see, we do have muscle definition coming around there, so let's just cover that right now. Rotate it a little bit, and you can scale it to size if you want, and I can see that it tapers off right there, kind of, and we'll address that problem there in a second. See, that goes up, and make the diamond that connects them all. And then the next parts of the series, I'm going to be putting in some good music. I'm not going to use no-name, horrible, shitty porno music like certain people do in their tutorials. I'm going to put in good music, and I'm not going to monetize the video, so you can listen to some decent tunes while you retopologize this, because it's going to take a while. Or you might not even need to watch the rest of them after this. You might just get it, but either way, that's what I'm going to do. And not to say that the certain person unnamed, that the name of which we do not speak, he's a brilliant animator and has far more years of experience, professional experience, that I just don't have. So I guess if he wants to put shitty, horrible, almost unbearable porno music in the back of his tutorials, that's his prerogative, but if somehow this ever reaches him, please God, why did you do that to us? It's almost unbearable at times how bad it is. I can only imagine like his friends, like he's like, oh yeah, I'm making this tut, I'll put your music in for sure, and then he was like maybe forced to do that. Alright, you see I've just extended this over, and then I'm kind of getting broader as we lose detail over here, because this section is just going to be smooth, nice smooth buttocks. It bit me in the buttocks. Alright, so Forrest Gump, simple bastard. Alright, just going through here, and we got to continue this geometry down, and we're going to go through, and we're going to make our way to the triangle of intersection there. And we're going to stop. Let's see. Arg. Let's flow this up. Let's flow this up for sure. Alright, let's continue these. Oh, see, there you go again. I hit the Shift F. And if you just press Escape real quick, it'll go back to where you were. I must drink a gallon of coffee a day. Easy. Alright, so we have a little bump thing going on right there, and we have some indentations. So let's just let's start with this right here. I'm just going to rotate this a little bit, and keep in mind this, you know, keeping it even with those cross ones right there. See that little, yeah. Alright. Kind of a little complicated with how we want, that's my fault, people, I'm sorry. We'll conquer that, no problem right now. So we want that to kind of meet in right there, where it's getting tight, and then grow out. So give it a phase, and in a moment we're going to check on our progress with our whole knee. But I'm just trying to, I'm making a conscious effort as a tutorialist to keep my tuts at an hour or under, and then just have a new tut for the next one, because no one wants to, it's a long time. And I mean, especially for me, I mean, when I started out, like, so say like Andrew Price, the man, the guru himself, did us a tutorial like for 15 minutes long. It'd take me a long time to actually go through and do everything the exact, because you have to really pay attention in Blender, especially when you're messing around with smoke modifiers and fluid simulations. They're very particular into a lot of things like scaling and edit mode or object mode, and stuff like that has to do with it. But once you get to know those things, God, the water modifier, the fluid modifier is so awesome, and the new smoke and flame is great as well. Alright, so now we have to conquer this, and let's just get rid of this section right here. Let's ignore that right now. Whoops, so you had that one vertex selected. My bad. I'm just gonna get rid of this right now. I'm gonna save. Alright, you triangle-y bastard. Let's do this. We're just gonna start out by taking a face, duplicating it, going back to vertex mode, and get up in there right there. So I'm gonna go with a triangle right here. So the triangle will give us the ability to bridge out this geometry both ways. So through there like that, and this technique right here is something you'll learn it, love it, live it, pretty much. It's how you're gonna create detail in a lot of stuff. So I want a pretty defined crease right there, and you still want to maintain this square shaped. If you kind of look at it from the side, it's a square still, or rectangle, whatever. It's got 4 sides. You want to maintain that at all times. So I just kind of want to make this like that. That might be completely unnecessary. Alright, so now let's make our way over to this guy, and right away you can see that this needs to go. So we have 1, 2, 3, so let's start over here. No, the knee is going to be coming in that play. And we got that. Let's see. So we'll start with our number 1 branch right here. Alright, that'll work. And if you're hoping, I am, and will be, doing a lot of these topology tuts. I find the topic quite interesting. So, and I lied to you, that's not the first one, it's going to be the next one right there. But this will just give us a quick, give us the geography around it to start working on it. And you know, a lot of times, and I do it, and I think everybody does it, is when I can't figure something out, something's bugging me at a union or a junction, I just leave it alone and I come back to it. You know, I found it's better to go, and I mean, and look, these aren't absolute rules, but I found for me it's better to go from the point of complication out to the point of simple. So it's easier to start with the complicated stuff first and then go simple in terms of when you're joining the simple part to this hard part. Also, and you can see how I kind of, you know, you kind of look at where you're coming from. So if I start at the knee and I go simple, I know that I need to add more loops around this knee section. I know this whole area right here is going to be, with the wrinkles, is going to be a little bit complex. So kind of don't want to start over here, but over here it's nice smooth rolling, you know, nice smooth hills, and I know that it's a good place to start from. All right, so we're just kind of making our way across here. And if you hold down Control, you can also do like a lasso select. Some people like to do that. I like just clicking. And let's see, so that might have been a little unnecessary, but it's okay. We'll just make a little face right there. So I kind of, right here, want to start, let's see, as Peter would say. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing right there. I just want to kind of follow this little section, so I'm just gonna, and that's gonna be our next section right there. Just kind of bring that down. We got a little muscle definition right there. Alright, so let's just kind of continue procedurally down the ranks through this guy right here. And we have 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna have to continue this diamond motion to get 4. Hey now. Alright. Whatever, that's fine. We'll put it right here. Alright, so what we're going to end up doing, I lied to you, we're going to make a triangle. Oh! How can you do that? It's a nice flat section, more or less. If it messes with the shading, then it messes with the shading. But when you do that, it literally solves all of your problems in that area. But we should always aim for 4s. I might go back and change that. I might not. It's pretty much like saying nothing. So how can I make this into a 4 and still make it work? Oh. Dissolve? No. No. Face. Die. Vertex. Righty. Sorry. My bad. I didn't. Okay, that was unnecessary. Okay, sorry. I steered you wrong. So we can see that we can start evening this out right here. We can start pulling that out as well. Alrighty. So let's go down here, and we're fine. So that, okay. So I don't know. Kind of gave up on you there for a second. Never use triangles. They're evil. They don't shade as well. They're not as efficient. If you're an efficiency snob, then you stay away. But Every time I hear a lag or my computer start thinking or something, I always save. It's like the hiss of death, you know. Like always when I'm listening to YouTube and using Blender and it's about to crash, my YouTube freezes for a second. So if I'm listening to music and YouTube like freezes for a moment for whatever reason, I'm always like, oh, here it comes, you're gonna get me, damn freezing bastard. Which I haven't had too much problems. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go up a triangle right there, bridge that off into that point. We could continue down around. I'm going to delete this, and we're just going to take this down. We'll space these down like this, and we're going to get our quad right there. And so we kind of ended this, and if you look at the edge loop, it comes down through like that. And as your path of least. Oh, let's check that out again. Look at that, up and through, not bad. Alright, so just kind of take a look back at this and get your flow down a little bit better. Now, before we start moving on to everything else, just kind of as you go through. It probably should be closer in for that, but we went through there, we got that, and then we should be tapering out over to this, actually. Like so. Let's see, it's decently smooth. I save a lot, I always save a lot. There's nothing wrong with saving a whole bunch. Never hurt anybody. But always append. And so I kind of want this to get a little bit wider as it goes up right there, or maybe not. And like this is I mean the fundamentals are the planning side of this is a little bit hard at first to grasp. At least for me it was. Maybe probably a lot of you are a lot smarter than me. But once you get into this, it is it's kind of neat. It's really fun how you redesign this in this little square grid fashion, and you flow everything. It's almost like you have this in a jet tunnel, and you're watching airstreams go over it, and you're like, oh man, this is smoother than a baby's ass. Some good stuff right here. And I mean that's at least how I feel when I finish one, especially when you start applying the shading to it. You're like oh wow, this is a quarter of the faces, and it's actually probably, if you want to get down mathematically, it's probably a 20th. It boils down to about a 20th or like a 17th of the faces you have when you retopologize of a high topology model, which is like I don't know, like 7% or some shit. Not that much. Pretty neat. So this goes up, and I want to kind of complete this. I want to complete this by stretching this out, this whole edge right there, and then I'm gonna rotate this like this, and then bring it down, and select these right here. Rotate it, bring it down, rotate some more, bring it down. Hey. Just bring it over like that. It kind of defines our leg chunk. So just real fast, let's just check on our progress. Go to layer 2. I want you to press toolbar, go over here to the shading. It's fourth one from the top, third one. I don't know if you count that guy. Smooth it, and then hit Control 1, and that's in Control, and any of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the top will do different levels. So Control 2 does levels of subdivision. Very necessary. Very necessary thing to. I mean, what I'm saying is use it a lot. I wonder what that noise is. I live by the airport, and I can like spit at the runway, and these big fucking FedEx planes fly over really close to my apartment, and it shakes the whole house. And somehow it's legal, and when you're outside, it's deafening. We have like triple pane, double slide windows. All right, sorry, enough about me. So you can see. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. It's really awesome. And so we're on a one view, and if we went to a second one, you'll see we could probably get away with a single layer of subdivision on this whole thing. I mean, or you could go with none, which it's a little bit blocky. But if this were a background character, so if this were something that was going to be, you know, like if there's a flock of these around here or something like that, you can leave it at this topology right here and have those guys look great from a distance, and you know, so that's pretty neat right there, I say. Let's just go kill that, and alright, save it. Alright, so we're coming up on an hour here. I'll try to get some of this knee done in the next 6 minutes here. So let's, oh here, no, we're not even going to try to do that. Let's look at this and figure out how we can start this whole thing. So remember in the beginning I drew a loop around, so let's just start with these guys right here. I'm just going to face it up as I approach it. Oops, so I just did extrude, but you should just be doing, I don't know, you can do extrude or click, same difference. If you notice I just cussed, I cuss. I think a lot of people do. I'm relatively new in this tutorial world, so I don't think I'm mainstream enough for it to matter. So fuck it. Alright, so let's also again go with this this junction right here. So we're going with the diamond formation, which is going to let us go out this way, you know, and then go over this way as well. And with the second diamond right here will let us continue around. So you got the double diamond formation, and this allows us, okay, cool, finally did it. Alright, see this right here? Why is that all shaded strange? I don't like that. Hit Control N and it solves nothing. Alright, well, let's just check this out real quick. Let's check on the normals. Really? Go to recalculate normals. Doesn't have any normals. I find that perplexing. And that's scrolling down on me. Direction. Nope. Whatever. Alright, so we can tell by doing that that was a bad move. Alright, so let's just continue around right here. If I would have tried to figure that out, I would have sat there in silence for quite a long time. So cool. Let's just surround drats. Son of a monkey. Let's start this first before we surround that. Let's start this first right here. So this seems not important now, but it will be in a second. So let's just okay. Let me just kill this grease pencil layer. Oh. Alrighty, then let's go and continue this around this kneecap right here. Now let's turn this off. That's not bothering me. Let's not go too far. And let's continue back around this side. I'm going to broadly just ignore that and take it down to here. I'm going to pull this over so it matches more or less this ridge. I'm going to make these into a face. And then I'm going to take these four and make them into a face. That's four, right? Yeah, okay. Make that into a face. and we're having more geometry problems. So let's evaluate our situation here. Shift D to duplicate this. Alright, let's get crazy for no reason. Alright, 1, 2, 3. That's not gonna solve any problems at all. Okay. Delete that. Take this. Let's bring that back up. Take this, and this is where you get the problems where you have this coming over and then you don't know what to do. So let me just think for a moment what I'm going to do about this guy right here. Fuck it. Alright, I'm going to make a face, take an edge loop, put an edge loop right there. Oh shit, okay, I did it in the wrong order. I'm just going to delete that face now, vertex mode. Basically I'm breaking down and I'm adding the extra geometry, even though I really don't want to. I am, and sometimes you have to do that. That bums me out. Alright, gotta figure out a way around that. Junctionerone right there. No, I don't want to do anything like that. Okay, so whatever. So let's just real quick tie in this knee stuff better. So face. I'm like bummed out about this. Okay, but that's okay, because you know what? What am I saying? We want good geometry around the knee, anyways, because it's gonna bend there. So that's why this is good. So I meant to do that. And if I had redone this take, I would be saying, oh, this is why this is good that this comes right here, because I'm so smart. But I'm actually not that smart. I just do things a whole bunch of times. To be old and experienced, or old and wise, you have to be young and stupid. Or another word for experimental or proactive. However you want to call that. Alrighty, so let's just take this edge loop and use C, and the right click will unselect that stuff, I believe. I don't know, it's on my tablet, it just happens. So take that over, and this, so this general concept of the bulge right here is kind of, it's how you're going to topologize every little hill or rule, Chino? You know Chino? Alright. So as we go down this way, we're gonna need, we're gonna need a double edge loop on the knee right there. And I'm gonna hit Q, I'm gonna edge slide that, and then hit G to bring it back into the world of snapping. Alrighty. Alright, this is that's an hour. This concludes the first section of this tutorial, and tune in for the next one. We'll literally start right back off at this knee right here, and we'll start bringing this in. I hope you learned something in this one. This is going to be, I'm going to do a lot of tutorials on this, and I hope you guys can get into this, for the one reason of it, because you got to get into sculpting. This can, it's not ZBrush, but this can definitely give you a lot of sculpting skills, and if you're ever really ready to save up the $700 for ZBrush, then it'll be more of a tool to you than if you just get ZBrush and start messing around, and I'm not, I mean, with the rate that Blender grows, it might be better than ZBrush in the next 2-3 years, and I'm not adverse to that idea at all. So Blender's the best. I'm a devout Blender user, Blender head. I love it, and I just want you guys to learn and grow and start using some of the new features, and kind of this is really neat stuff. Well, you guys have a good day. We'll see you next time.